Good morning, everyone. My name is Aishna, the Assistant Editor at CA Club India, and I welcome you all to our yet another webinar. So I'm sure that all of you who have joined have trouble recalling audit case laws, and you must be looking at ways to study it in a story format. So today we have with us CACS Deepa Srivastava, who will be sharing with us 8 audit case studies in a story format. Ma'am has over 20 years of audit experience, and she brings with her extensive experience in various kinds of audit like internal audit, concurrent audit, or bank audit. So, ma'am, we are extremely pleased to have you with us. Before we start, just a quick disclaimer for the participants. This is a speaker session, which will be followed by a Q&A session. So if you have any queries, please put it in the chat box and we will take it up in the Q&A session. So thank you, everyone. And ma'am, over to you now.
Thanks a lot. Welcome all the students after a long time. So I am excited to share audit stories, and I think you all also. So this is Saturday morning, and I know that you all may be having a holiday mood or maybe in the office, I'm not sure. So again, welcome you all, my dear CA students and even other people who are in this webinar. So without wasting any time, let me start. So it's a mix of Hindi and English, so that it really means that you people are hearing some kind of stories. That kind of feeling I would like to have. So kuch kahaniyan ho jaye, or I know it's very strange to have audits as a stories, but this is a third session and look forward to have lots of sessions. So let's have our story number 1. So it relates to related party transaction. So a lot of you must be aware what's a related party transaction. If you are not, then I would like to share that whenever any transaction is happened with someone in a company who is closely related with the management or the director, then it's a related party transaction. So in CA, as per examination point of view, because though we are giving the story, so make it more interesting. But otherwise, the main purpose is that you people can attempt these questions in exams and get your full marks. And even in career also, you may not forget these things which I have been sharing. So what I'm trying to say that why related party transaction is so important, and there is an accounting standard especially for this. Because if you apply the logic, suppose you give a loan to me as a student, and I don't know you much, and we have met on this webinar. So one day you will ask me that give back my loan. So I will say that's fine. But suppose if someone is related to you very closely and you do a transaction with them, then the chances that something you may not ask for the loan back, that okay, how should I ask back? This is, I'm trying to explain it in a very, very simple way. So therefore, related party transaction is very, very important, and it is one of the most important item even in inter, final, and otherwise. So let's start the story. So there was a person called Adarsh, and he was living in Mumbai, or he always wanted to start his own firm. So let's see, Adarsh ne apni mehnat se ek firm start kari. So I have to speak in English also, maybe my South Indian friends are there on board. So Adarsh started a firm with his hard work in Mumbai, and he was living in Mumbai with his wife and kids, and everything was going great. Kaam acha ho raha tha. Then he needed some kind of money or some kind of loan or some kind of help. So he just went to his close relatives, and he needed to do some related party transactions. So उसे कुछ related party transactions करने पड़े. तो इसको आप कंपनी में विजुअलाइज करिए. एक कंपनी है, आदर्श उधर काम कर रहे हैं, उधर के वो सीईओ हैं, सीईओ नहीं है, मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर हैं, और उन्होंने रिलेटेड पार्टी ट्रांजैक्शन किया. अब कंपनी है, स्टोरी है, पर ऑडिटर तो आएगा ही. जैसे ही कंपनी होएगी तो ऑडिट करना पड़ेगा. So अथर्व जी को अपॉइंट किया, वो भी मुंबई में थे, and he was staying at Powai. His residence was at Powai. So he was appointed as an auditor for Adarsh company. So now related party transaction has happened. So as an auditor, what is the responsibility of Athar and what he was supposed to do? तो as an auditor he should know. तो वो सोच रहे थे कि related party transaction है तो कैसे चेक किया जाए, क्या देखा जाए. तो देखिए फिर आगे क्या होता है. So Atharv took a management letter from Adarsh. Atharv ने एक management letter ले लिया. So management letter, we can perceive it's a kind of a letter which we take from the company, and the management writes and certifies that I have done all the disclosures and I have done the proper accounting for related party transaction. Everything is good and great. So Atharv was very happy. He said, okay, fine, I've taken the management letter. अब काम खत्म और कुछ नहीं करना है. मेरा audit भी मैं जल्दी से खत्म कर लूंगा और घर चला जाऊंगा. So is he correct as per Companies Act 1950? 2013. So we have got a revised one. Still on the back one. So I'm written in a very simple language. आपने किसी से letter ले लिया तो क्या आपका काम खत्म हो गया? See, the point is that if suppose I give you a letter that I've done everything proper and everything is great, definitely you know a person, Athar may be knowing the others since long, and he knows that he's an honest person, trustworthy and all. But when you are reporting and you have to sign a balance sheet and audit report, your responsibility is a bit higher. So tomorrow he may say that, yeah, I wrote a management letter, but मुझे तो पता ही नहीं था कि disclosure क्या करते हैं. मेरे accountant ने बोला, मैंने डाल दिया. And then these are the जो audited balance sheets हैं और जो reports हैं. My dear friends, you all must be aware that these are the basic documents when a person as an investor wants to invest some money. तो अगर आप शेयर मार्केट में डील करते हैं और आप लोग काफी सीनियर है, आप लोगों को पता होगा, तो ये सब डॉक्यूमेंट्स चेक, मतलब इसी के बेसिस पे इन्वेस्टमेंट होता है, पैसा लगाता है कोई भी. यानी आरओसी में फाइल होते हैं. तो अगर मुझे किसी कंपनी के बारे में पता करना होता है, सी दैट एंड इफ एन ऑडिटर इज सेइंग दैट एवरीथिंग इज फाइन, so we somewhere believe it that yes, he must have checked everything because it's his responsibility. So the point is that Athar need to check the proper accounting, disclosure of the related party transactions and other details. Fine, management letter मिलने से क्या है कि confidence level Athar का ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, and when he will check the transactions, he will be in a more comfort level. But he need to check, he need to apply his team on the same, and he need to be convinced that all the points which are written in the accounting standards relating to related party transaction must have been and should have been followed. So what is the crux of the story so that you remember it? So in for this, whatever stories I'm saying, the basis of these stories are long, multiple choice questions, which I have seen on the CA website. So what happens that multiple choice questions runs into a page and then you have got short answers. So you take time to read it. So what is my suggestion to people who are going to give exams, that whenever you have got MCQs, first of all, read the questions that what the person is asking. And then just try to rush up with a paragraph that what are the points there. It will prevent you a lot of time. So what will happen? Sometimes you will relate, oh, related party transaction वाला ये तो हाँ वो मैडम ने बताया था, तो थोड़ा सा और देख लो कि पूछ क्या रहा है. वो यही पूछ रहा है ना कि रिलेटेड पार्टी ट्रांजैक्शन में ऑडिटर को मैनेजमेंट लेटर मिल गया तो इज इट ओके और ही नीड्स टू गो फर्दर. So then you will relate and you will be able to answer it fast. So as you all know that inter and final level of exams is difficulty is also high and the time is also constrained. So with this, we complete one story, and I hope that this will be there in your mind. So even if you become a chartered and in career, you get this kind of question in your mind, and even for exams. Let's go to the story number 2. It relates to auditor balance confirmation. So it is also an interesting topic. And what I would like to say that wherever we are having this, what I can say, audit. And what are the points in audit? These are all very logical. So you need not ratify or mug that your auditor balance confirmation would debtor se lena hai, kaise karna hai. So let's go through this story and then we will understand that what I'm trying to say. So मैं एक मिस्टर गौरव थे और उनका बचपन से ही सपना था कि वो क्या करें, एक कंपनी के सीईओ बने. तो नॉर्मली काफी लोगों का रहता है. So what he did, he studied, he did lot of studies and पढ़ाई करी उन्होंने, सब कुछ किया. So then he was able to start a company. So गौरव का बचपन से ही सपना था कि वो एक कंपनी के सीईओ बने and he did lot of studies. उन्होंने बहुत पढ़ाई करी, business start किया. So he was from Delhi, but he started his firm. उसने अपनी firm मुंबई में शुरू करी. So I'm just thinking that next time I may write in English only because studying Hindi in English may not be that comfort level. I may speak in Hindi, but let me have the narrations in English only, but I will translate it in both the languages. So he started his firm in Mumbai, and again, when you're a company, the statutory auditor comes in between. वो तो उसको करना ही आपको साल में एक बार. So statutory audit का stage भी आ गया. अब उसको बैलेंस कंफर्मेशन चाहिए था. तो फॉर द अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ यू ऑल, लॉट्स ऑफ यू मे बी नोइंग व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ बैलेंस कंफर्मेशन. बैलेंस कंफर्मेशन मींस in the accounts of a company we have got debtors balance, creditors balance, lots of balances are there in the balance sheet. तो suppose गौरव ने क्या कहते हैं सामान बेचा और डेटर्स से उसको लेने हैं 2 करोड़. तो जो 2 करोड़ का जो बैलेंस उसकी बैलेंस शीट में दिख रहा है, is it correct or not? So there are a lot of ways. You see the invoices, you see the vouchers, and you see the entries in the bank, in the sale of goods, and lots of things. But one of the best thing, one of the important thing that we can take a direct balance confirmation from the party. उसी को जो जिससे भी लोन लिया, सपोज उन्होंने लोन लिया मैडम सविता से, जो एक कंपनी अलग ही कंपनी चला रही है, तो उनको हम एज एन ऑडिटर वी कैन आस्क देम कि आप हमें बताइए कि ये आपका 2 करोड़ का ही आउटस्टैंडिंग है कि नहीं. सो बैलेंस कंफर्मेशन तो आप लोगों को पता ही होगा, बट आई हैव टोल्ड आल्सो. सो उसके बाद क्या हुआ, so that's what I was saying, that actual balance was rupees 2 crores. तो एक्चुअल बैलेंस सही है कि नहीं. तो इन्होंने बोला, हमारे मिस्टर ऑडिटर साहब ने, ऑडिटर का नाम क्या डाला था मैंने, ऑडिटर साहब का नाम मैंने सोनू डाला है. नाम सोचना भी बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है. तो सोनू जी ने गौरव से बोला कि सर मेरे को आप बैलेंस कंफर्मेशन दे दीजिए. आई वांट टू चेक दैट वेदर योर बैलेंस शीट बैलेंस इज करेक्ट और नॉट. तो गौरव जी बोले ठीक है, आई विल आस्क द डेटर. तो डेटर का नाम हमने रखा था सविता. तो मैं सविता को बोल देता हूँ, वो बैलेंस कंफर्मेशन भेज देती है, मेल भेज देगी, लेटर भेज देगी, एंड ऑल दोस थिंग्स. So in English, so what Gaurav said, I will interact with Savita, I will get you the balance confirmation, and you be happy and proceed with your audit. So now what happened? Then the auditor said, Sonu the auditor, remember? He said, no, I have to take a direct balance confirmation. I am not be happy if you give me the balance confirmation. So what is the logic in this? It is again the same thing. Though this Gaurav must be a very good person, very ethical, maybe not. So he may ask Savita, यार मेरे balance में 2 करोड़ दिखा रहे हैं, तो 2 करोड़ का balance confirmation बना के भेज देना. So what he will say, he will call Savita, auditors are there, my balance is 2 crores. Even if your balance is 2 crore 1 lakh, you show 2 crore only and give this. Okay, नहीं तो कल को मैं तुम्हारे साथ deal नहीं करूँगा. It may happen. So to prevent that, again, Institute has come out with the guidelines that this balance confirmation need to be directly taken by the auditor. So what we will do, we take the mail IDs, email IDs or addresses, and we send a letter to the customer with a format that as per your understanding, the balance in your books is so and so. So you people may ask that तब भी तो फोन करके तो बता सकता है ना सविता मैडम को कि भाई ये ऐसा करो वैसा करो. So I don't deny the fact that it may happen like that, but the chances are that in this way, with a direct balance confirmation, the chances of the collusion between the two parties reduces to a great extent. And whenever you have to give a documented document, means written jab bhi dete hain, the person is very much careful that I give a proper, what I can say, proper statement with a stamp and seal and all. So again, so let me reiterate. So we did the two stories till now. So for my friends who are going to give exams, so that they don't forget when they give the exams, the point is that related party transaction, though you get a management letter, you need to check everything on your own also. When you have to get a debtor's confirmation, you should get a direct debtor's confirmation and not from the company's management or CEO. So with this, let's move to story number 3. Oh, story number 3. What is the topic of story? It's a short story. इसमें ज़्यादा नहीं मैंने कुछ क्योंकि ये एक ही slide पे cover हो गई है. Ownership of properties. So there's a person called Lakshya. He did a lot of hard work and made big properties in his name in Maharashtra. तो उसने बहुत मेहनत से बिजनेस किया और अपने नाम पे प्रॉपर्टीज बनाई महाराष्ट्र में. जस्ट एन एग्जांपल. Even he was a big businessman. Now auditor need to check the ownership of properties. How should he go? तो मेरे को ये चेक करना है कि वो जो प्रॉपर्टीज उसके नाम पे हैं वो सच में उसके नाम पे हैं कि नहीं. It's a bit simple because anyone will say that yes, he can go and see the registration documents. But there is a question regarding this in the ICI, and it runs into many paragraphs. So when these kind of questions come, first of all, see the questions in the MCQ, what they're asking. You can get these questions in detailed also, not necessarily MCQs. You can get a detailed one. In that case, what I will do, I'll try to do next time, try to put auditing standards also, accounting standards name also. For example, related party transaction, there is a detailed accounting standard for the same. So next time I will put AS also, and I will request the management of CA Club India that one presentation I would like to give on auditing standards name, accounting standards name and details, so that you remember it. And even, so one thing which a bit, what I can say, I'm moving away from this topic, law and tax and audit. So you should put sections of law in the exams wherever possible, case studies name. So one thing which I would like to tell you all, that try to have your section names summarized, all of them in a particular short notebook, or you put them on your desk wherever you study so that you see them daily. So that's the mind works in the way that if you see something daily, it automatically remembers that. So if you suppose you are going to a market and you daily see a shop, then you remember, oh, what Chandu and Sons ki shop hai, though you never tried to remember it. So that's a humble request. Even I'm having a very small short note and booklet, which will be handy wherever you are traveling, by car, by train. Try to look at it, and I can say for surety, being having a CACS and these are 3 degrees, that the moment you put the section names, case names, the chances of getting the marks high increases. And never put a wrong section name. So suppose you don't remember. So suppose we know that section 2 normally is related to definitions. So there is a definition and you put section 21. Never do that. Never ever do that. नहीं याद है तो मत लिखो, पर गलत मत लिखो. तो अगर वो किसी को बुकलेट चाहिए है, तो you can, my email ID is always there in these presentations. Even you can speak to say, ma'am, these are all free, nothing is there. I can share those booklets with you all. And I'm again saying that soft copy is fine, but when you're having something handy and keep on looking into that. So I'm having everything from income tax, law, audit for inter, final, and even CPT. So you can tell your friends. My name is Deepa Srivastav, that is written here. Just you have to remove A in the end, and Deepa Srivastav at the gmail.com. That's my email ID. So any kind of help, please, I would like to see all my students who are coming in this webinar, whom I'm teaching. I'm having coaching classes also to not only pass, but to be rank holders. That's what I think, that at least I can do that much hard work. So then let's come back to this topic. So it's very simple. So whenever you have to see about the ownership of properties, you need to have registration documents and check them. Let's go to the next story, story number 4. It relates to the engagement team, or even I may say that I think it relates to the, yeah, it relates to the engagement team. So what happened? So there was a lady called Deepa, and it is me only. She was a simple science graduate from Hindu College, Delhi University, and she wanted to do CA. And yes, she did become a CA. So I'm talking to you. So in this story, I thought to put my name, and it's me who's giving this webinar and all. Yes, I did fail. I always write this. I was a topper in my college, but I did fail, so that I would really want to motivate everyone, even if you are not able to clear CA in some attempts, it's okay, it happens, but you can do it. So I'm having a CA firm, not very big, it will become big. So I'm having a CA firm now. So now you people are saying, okay, fine, that's about Deepa. What about the story? What happened? Let's see. So tomorrow when my firm will grow more, I will have more articles and will have different kinds of clients and sign engagement letters with them. So engagement letter is a kind of a letter which is signed off between the client and the party. And there we decide what all needs to be done. But the story is a bit different. So what happened? So my team started the audit of Reliance Industries, just an assumption, nothing true in this. And they were not, they were a bit confused what to do. So they wanted to interact with the previous engagement team. So I got this audit last year also, and there was an engagement team run by ABC who did this audit. And now I have deputed CDE. Normally the team, the people want to have the team same, but sometimes they, what I can say, they change it. So the point is here that can the engagement team CDE can interact with ABC and understand what all happened in the previous year, so that it's easy for them to make an engagement letter with the proper scope and proper details. So my future chartered accountants or even CAs who are on this webinar, whenever you do any audit, whenever you take any assignment, be very clear about the scope, timelines, and how it will be done. Because if there's an ambiguity in the same, then later on it creates lots of issues, and then you may have issues in your fees collection also. So the cut short is that. So you can interact with your previous engagement team. So it sounds to be simple. I'm again saying you may get detailed questions about this. You need not run what I can say, ratify the same. And again, a request when these kind of questions come in the detailed scenario. So always take the facts of the case. First of all, write the facts of the case. If it is MCQ, that's fine. But if it is a case law, facts of the case, I think I've told in my all webinars, and I'll keep on telling, just write the facts of the case from the question itself. You will get a lot of details in the question. This happened, there was a company, these were the auditors. So at least that will summarize the case in half or more page of the answer sheet. And in that way, you also understand what the question is. Normally, we take around 2-3 minutes to read a question thoroughly. So if you start writing, you will write something. Definitely, you will get some marks for that. And then you will understand also simultaneously facts of the case, then analysis. And then you need to keep the sections, if any, you are aware of. And then you need to, for after facts of the case, write the query, what the question is asking. So that also will get in the question. The question is asking that whether the current engagement team can interact with the previous engagement team, yes or no. That will happen. And then you will write an analysis as per section so and so, as per auditing standard so and so. It is written that we can do, and you can put a logic also, because the moment you interact with the previous audit team, you will get a better understanding, and there is nothing wrong in that. That will increase the value of the audit. Fine. and then ultimately write the conclusion. So when you write your answer in this way, see, the answer sheets are checked by human beings. So everyone want to have a clear, no one want to study big paragraphs. Always try to give the bullet points. These are all basic things which I learned on my own with my failures. So I would like my students and future chartered accountants to don't learn from the failures, and then if one, what all we can share with you. These are all very important things. It doesn't take much time. Fine. So this with this we have completed 3 stories. First is related party transaction. You auditor need to check everything, and he need to take a management letter also. Second was related to debtors confirmation, balance confirmation, take it directly. Then here we are talking about the engagement team. And this is story number 4. One story I missed. Yes, property. You need to how to check the property documents. The only purpose I'm repeating it again and again so that it just you remember it always. You need not even revise it. So the moment the question comes, you said, oh yeah, I know this. So I just want to help you all, that you all, what I can say, that your studies, you can give time to other subjects, and auditing, you just understand the logic and remember it always. Let's go to this next story, which is story number 5. Materiality level. So let me see what I'm talking. इसको थोड़ा सा छोटा कर देते हैं. Okay, fine. So the question is that, so there is no Sonu, there is no Monu. Do an auditor need to see materiality level while preparing an audit plan? I know a lot of you must be saying, yes, that's correct. And yes, that's true. But can it change with the progress of audit? So the answer is yes. Why? What is the logic? The logic is that, so what I'm trying to say, that auditing is not that much difficult. You need to remember. In taxation, you need to remember that the rates are so and so, and the section is that, and all those things. But in audit, it's all logic. So when an audit progresses, and lot of people must have done audit in this audience, and the people later on who see in the YouTube, as the audit progresses, the understanding of the business keeps on increasing slowly. The things which we are knowing on the day 1 and the things which we know on the day 7 is quite different. So then definitely, as one of the question is there, can we change the audit plan as we move on into the audit? The answer is yes, you can change the audit plan anytime. But the point is that try to see that your audit plan doesn't change many times, because it becomes it is not having the comfort level with the client then, because he has to keep on changing. But yes, some small changes can be done. So if at the time of audit you find that there is no proper system of checking of fixed assets, physical verification hua hi nahi hai pure saal mein, which is a big risk, because fixed asset is one of the main component in the balance sheet with normally high value, then you may have to do much more detailed audit of fixed asset. So in this case, what the point is that auditor need to definitely see the materiality level. You all know what the materiality level is, but then also I would like to share the materiality level means. Suppose there is a company which is running into the crores, and there's a loss of a pen amounting to ₹100. So this loss is not at all material for that company, because करोड़ों के बीच में तुम्हारा 100 रुपए का पेन चला गया, चलता है. But if the company is very small, their transactions are just ₹1,000. It doesn't happen, but I'm just giving an example. And then there is a loss of ₹100 pen or something else whatsoever, then it becomes the material. So auditor has to see what are the materiality levels. He checks the trial balance P&L account, which items are having high values. If you're having printing stationery expenses running into lakhs, and they keep on increasing day by day, month by month, so then it becomes, in your sampling, it will help you that you need to see these items. And management is also interested from the auditor to understand what is high risk and which will affect to him materials. So if you go to him, see, sir, I have found you have lost a pen of ₹100. I know who took it. So he will say, that's okay, that's fine. I'm not very much concerned about this. You let me know, I've got a stock of gold. How much gold is lost? You let me know that. So it is very important what kind of materiality is there in the particular assignment. Story number 6, it talks about documentation of audit. Documentation of audit per se, it is very important. Whatever you are doing as an audit nowadays, you are having soft copies, and there are a lot of softwares where you can put your checklist and run them and everything. So see what happened. So Taksh was having a big audit firm in Gurdaspur. So he's got a complaint from the client Saraswati and Company that the last time audit was not completed on time. तो एक तक्ष जी हैं, उनकी ऑडिट फर्म है गुरदासपुर में, उनको एक कंप्लेंट मिली क्लाइंट से कि लास्ट टाइम ऑडिट टाइम पे कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ. So please this time prepare a detailed audit plan to complete the audit on time and with the proper understanding how much time is required for which area. First of all, you do a business study. So first day we do a walkthrough in the company, that's on-site review, and we understand how big is the company along with the financials and all those data. तो ठीक है, सब सही रहा. तो तक्ष ने बोला fine, I'll make an audit plan, but I won't document it because it may change as the audit progresses. So as even we were talking in the previous slide, that audit plan, audit program, these things may change as the audit progresses because we may get something which is more important. So the answer is that Taksh is totally wrong. Audit plan needs to be documented. So the point is that documentation is very important in audit because documentation and collection of evidence, these two things. Because whenever you try to say something about a client, then normally client is what? Client is a group of people who is running a business. So some of my friends must be having this experience. So when you're talking to a client or when you are auditing and you give some point, later on he may say, no, I never did this, I never said this, or I never showed this document. So when you're having a picture, soft copy, photo, or photocopy of that particular document, you can say it is there. And audit plan and everything needs to be documented. There is no second thought on that. So let's move to the next story of audit. Story number 7. So in all, we are having 8 stories. And we are going to have 2 more stories left out. So let me see what the story number 7 talks about. Internal audit working papers. So I'm more concerned this time regarding the working papers. So Vineet and Company was a big CA firm in Patiala. So just imagine there is a big CA firm in Patiala, Mr. Vineet. So what happened? They got audit of Bottle X manufacturing and company. So they got an assignment or audit of so-and-so company. All was going fine, but Vineet wanted to have the company X internal audit report. So one thing which I want to highlight here, Vineet is a statutory auditor of X manufacturing company. Vineet है statutory auditor है X manufacturing company के. Vineet ने बोला कि मुझे internal audit report चाहिए. That's fine. In every audit, we take the internal audit report, even when RBI comes for audit and HB does audit of the National Housing Bank. So internal audit reports, other reports, that all helps them to understand कि क्या है, और internal auditor जो है वो काफी डिटेल में audit करता है, तो उसके points help करते हैं. अब इधर हुआ क्या? So, but something weird happened, and we went to the CEO of Bottle X and asked him the internal audit working papers. So we all know internal audit working papers are different and internal audit report is different. Internal audit working papers जो भी उस auditor ने अपने पास सब जो भी लिखा होगा, जो भी details लिया होगा. So now the question arises, is it correct? Can he force Mr. X to give the internal audit working papers? So can I have some answers on board that is he correct? Can he ask for internal audit working papers on the chat? Yes or no? If he can ask for internal audit working papers, say yes. If he can't ask, say no. So let's have few the answers. Few of the answers. No. Very good. So Mr. PM Arya, Mr. Pradeep Alam, they have said no. Few more answers. Let's wait for 5 seconds. Oh, yes. Anai Makija is saying yes. Okay. Few more answers. Yes. Few more answers. Let me have 4 to 5 more answers. Just say yes or no. It's okay. You may be correct. You may not be correct. We are learning, so we'll understand. So can he ask for working papers? If yes, then type yes. If no, then type no. Karthik Gunja, yes. Okay, great. So the point is that I would like to share with my future chartered accountants, my good friends, that asking for internal audit working papers is not correct in the sense that statutory auditors has no rights to go and ask your audit working papers. You can ask the internal audit report. So I'm very happy that I just asked the question on the chat. So the my dear friends who said yes, they must be thinking that how is it possible? See, this is a case law and has been, and what is the logic? See, audit working papers are normally the confidential document of that particular entity. Even if the management ask you, give me the audit working papers, then also you can say no, because audit working papers are your workings. Audit report, anyone can see. So I've summarized everything in the audit report. So when it comes in the exams and even for your understanding, a stat auditor per se, any auditor, any management can't force an internal auditor to show their working purpose, but they need to show the internal audit report for sure. So Vineet went to internal audit partner to the extent Mr. Lalit and asked for the internal audit report working papers, but Lalit said no. So what is correct? See, an auditor can ask for an internal audit report, but can't force to have an internal audit working papers, which are the documents of internal audit, not mandatorily to be shared with others, only internal audit report to be shared. So a request to all of you. So remember that internal audit report needs to be shared, but internal audit working papers are not necessarily to be shared. That is my working. हाँ, आपको कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, कोई मेरी ऑब्जर्वेशन आपको सही नहीं लग रही है, if you go through my audit report and you said no, this point I don't agree to you, then I may come back to you. See, I'm having the proofs with me, I have taken everything, so I'm very clear that whatever I've written in my audit report, I'm having the backings, proofs, evidence with me. I think this is clear to all the participants who are there in this meeting. So let's move to the last story of the day, story number 8. So what happened in this story? Okay, it is also of 2 slides. So now this is an interesting case with the one case which we did few slides back. We talked about the getting the debtors direct confirmation. I hope you all remember. So this particular point is interesting and it is a bit separate from other points. Let me start it. So there is a Vineet, he got hired as an internal auditor for Mera and Mera flow trading company. So what we are talking about, there is an internal auditor. Mera and Mera appointed Roche and Company, a firm, to study the useful life of their assets and do the physical verification. So let's assume there is one Mr. Vineet, fine. And there is, if I can use the annotation, so there is one Mr. Vineet, he is an internal auditor. And there is one Mr. Mera and Mera, it is a company. And they appointed Ruchi to do the useful life asset and physical verification. There are three parties, there's 1, 2, and 3. Now what happened? Vineet said, I need the above report and directly from Ruchi and Company. So as an internal auditor, whatever what I can say, whatever consultation or whatever report a company is having, which helps an internal auditor to understand the functioning of a company, internal auditor can ask. So if I again clarify the issue, what happened, internal auditor ने बोला कि मुझे ये रुचि कंपनी ने जो आपका ये एनालिसिस किया है फिक्स्ड एसेट का, उसकी कोई रिपोर्ट बनाई होगी, तो मुझे वो रिपोर्ट चाहिए। तो मैनेजमेंट ने कहा कि रिपोर्ट तो हम दे देंगे। तो इस ऑडिटर ने क्या बोला उसके बाद, डिड आई नॉट रोट देम, सो व्हाट हैपेंड, दैट ऑडिटर ने बोला कि मुझे डायरेक्ट चाहिए, I need the report directly from the this client the way I asked for debtors. So I hope I'm clear. So this time also auditor said that I need a direct report from the client. So what the law says, or what the act says, that if you need a debtors confirmation, the auditor needs to take directly. But if you need other reports, which has been say Ruchi is Ruchi is a company, she has made a report. So there's nothing question of direct, because she may not do any changes in the report on the phone call of the Vineet of the company. But debtor may do some changes because they are having some interest in each other. So what happened in the next slide? So Vineet now got into a difficult situation. He went to his old friend, Mr. Sunil, and asked him what to do. Sunil told him, auditor can ask consultant report. He should be provided the same, but it's not something like debtor balance. So it need not be taken directly by Vineet. Even Mera and Mera can arrange the same. So what I'm trying to say that, if you have to take a debtor's balance as an auditor, take it directly. And if you have to take any other report is a formal document, you can ask the management to give you. So with this, our 8 stories are completed. What the last slide talks about. So thanks a lot to all of you to give your time for this session. And if any questions are there, you can give on the chat. And as I was telling you, you can interact with me on my email ID, that is simple Deepa Srivastav. Yeah, you need not have A in the end. So thanks a lot. So madam is there on board. I can see her. And over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the incredible and very knowledgeable session. So I would like to request all the participants, if you have any question, please put it in the chat box. Currently, we don't have any questions. So
I don't think so.
Because it was such such an easy format, I am not expecting questions.
Thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
So we'll just wait for another minute and we'll
Yes,
just see if there are any questions. If you have any questions regarding audit, or if you want any tips regarding the audit paper, you can put it in the chat box.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, ma'am, are there any tips that you would like to share from your end regarding the audit paper?
Yeah, as I was telling them, and I keep on saying that you need to first of all, when you're studying audit, try to understand logically rather than, because otherwise you get bored of. And when you write the exams, try to write in bullet points, not in paragraphs, so that a person is clear what you are writing. And one more important thing, very important, when you are studying, at least give a self exam once in a month, once in a week. I suggest that. How much are you able to write? See, whatever I've taught, it sounds to be very easy. Oh, that's okay. But when you are in the examination, all in that 3 hours with that atmosphere, you are not able to write down those things. So just give some time to yourself, just half an hour, and try to write. And then you will realize, yeah, मुझे आता तो सब था पर मैं लिख नहीं पा रहा हूँ. These are very small and important tips, and I understand that you people are busy, final are into having even jobs, and everyone is, because articles also have to start the work. But give that, this time will be worth, this investment will be worth. That's what I can say. So if you like, ma'am, can I put my email ID on this chat box? Yeah,
sure,
so
sure.
that I don't put that slide and all with the big, my name, my degrees and all those things. I don't like that. I request people, even that sections and all are very important. तो वो एक छोटा सा बुकलेट मैंने बनाया हुआ है. अभी इसमें कोरोना में तो कोरियर ही करना पड़ेगा. किसी को भी चाहिए, they can have it. They just need to pay the courier charges. That's it. Okay, I think there are no questions, as you rightly said. So
no. So I think we are then, we've come to an end of the session. You guys can note down ma'am's email ID. And I'll also put it in the YouTube video. So this entire session is available on CA Club India's YouTube page as well. So if you want to visit it again and if you want to study those stories again, then you can head over to the CA Club India YouTube page and you can see this entire session over there. Okay, once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for the incredible session. And we look forward to having more sessions with you.
Thanks to you and all the participants. And I look forward all of you again to meet you next month with more stories. And I may increase the stories if people are more interested, because then definitely with more stories. And again, I'm saying these stories are all related to the institute material. So this all will come in the exams or in your career. So thanks a lot, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And have a good day.